start the interview just casually talking general stuff. Like, how'd you get into this car? Like, tell me all about it.
For sure. So to take it back to the beginning, I was never into like the stance game or fast cars or like anything like that. I grew up on a farm and I was into lifted Jeeps, and so my brother actually gave me my first Jeep Wrangler, and nothing was done to it. It was bone stock and it had a blown head gasket. It didn't run. So basically it was like my dream car because all my brothers had Jeeps, and so my goal was just to get it running, and then after that I was just gonna go ham. And so I put a ton of hours into it, and just basically tore the motor down, fully rebuilt it, and got it running, and it was freaking awesome. It was a 5-speed manual 92 Jeep Wrangler. I still have it to this day, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's a super cool car. And started just doing like suspension mods to it and sound system and performance stuff here and there, going off-roading and whatnot. And it was super cool. And then I drove that car for probably 4 years, just as a daily. And then I went to college and got a girlfriend, and she lived in Rhode Island, or she still lives in Rhode Island. And so I was looking for something more economical on gas because I got like 15 miles to the gallon. It was super loud,
sure.
really uncomfortable. And so I ended up buying a Mark 4 Jetta turbo diesel, and so that got like 45 miles to the gallon, and it was freaking awesome. And that's what got me into cars, I guess, like lower cars, is just because you know, doing everything to my Jeep, I just couldn't leave a vehicle stock.
Yeah,
So I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna lift it. I might as well lower it and, you know, do some stuff to it. So I honestly didn't get very far into modifying that car, but the original plan was actually, and the reason why I got this car was I was looking for air suspension, and I wanted to figure out the cheapest way to do it, and but still have a quality system. You know what I mean? Sure. So I didn't want to cheap out too much, and so I found this car on Marketplace, and it already had airlift suspension and V2 management. And so I went to go look at it in the hopes of buying the car, swapping the two suspensions, and then flipping this car within like a week. And so I actually went to test drive this car. I was like 2.5 hours away. I took the truck and trailer with me because I knew I was going to buy it. And I test drove it, and well, no, first I popped the hood and looked at it, and I don't know why, but I didn't even like read the whole ad. Like, I'm going down, and I thought it was just a 1.8 turbo, and I popped the hood, and it's a freaking VR6. I'm like, oh shoot!
Little gift for yourself.
Yeah. Little icing on the cake. So I took it for a test drive, and I loved it. And so I brought it home, and I was like really conflicted. Had like 40,000 less miles, and it's just like a nicer model of the car. Yeah, for sure. And so I ended up just posting up the turbo diesel for sale and keeping this one. So that's where we are. That was about 14 months ago. So I've really only been in the car game, like the lowered car game, for a little over a year. But I love it so far, and it's been really cool.
So speaking on, you said you had V2 management for your airbags suspension. Yeah. So how do you like that? So I don't know a lot of people with V2. I think it's really cool, like going from, like, if you really think about back then, manual just switches. V2 was the first real, like, you know, just touch and play. You know? Yeah. like is the pros of having V2?
Dang, pros of having V2. Honestly, I guess just the simplicity of it, like, and just the compactness of the controller. That might seem really nitpicky, but I see a lot of 3P setups, and to me, it just looks sloppy. Like,
yeah.
I see this big controller like hanging on something in the middle of the car, and like this big cable coming out of it, and it's like, okay, like that's super cool that you like have all that tech, but it's just hasn't been nicely done in my opinion. And I know there's clean setups and whatnot where they have them like molded into the dash and all that, but I really just like the simplicity of just having like 8 buttons and you know.
Oh yeah. Like I just feel like V2 is like that middleman of the manual and 3P, where it's like not too much technology, but it's also not like where you're just holding switches the whole time. Like I have manual airbag suspension, and that's, you know, it's nice to just be on bags, but like it's also like, you know, you're constantly like just sitting there holding fucking switches.
Yeah. Like
for, you know, 20 seconds in the day. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that sums it up really well. Just being the middleman between the two, high performance and extreme budget.
Yeah, because like 3P, you know, like when it gets to that much tech, it's out of your control to know what's going on. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So in a sense, it's just like you're saving yourself from like not being knowledgeable of like what could go wrong with the system, because it's like a computer's completely controlling everything.
Right.
So
right.
Plus, like I know that my manual system is like run throughout my car, inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
So like with us being in Maryland and the weather being like, you know, just one day hot, one day cold.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of 3P owners have trouble in the winter with it being cold, because their lines, I believe, are run like somewhere outside.
Mm-hmm.
So like their lines freeze up and like their bags just don't work sometimes.
Right.
How do you know like exactly how your V2 setup is run, like whether it's inside or outside the car?
Yeah. It's completely inside the car except for the wheel wells.
Okay.
So it goes back to the brain in the trunk, and then it's routed underneath the door panels, or what, like the foot guards or whatever.
That's how
up to the front, and then it just goes straight into the wheel wells from the spare tire well for the rear bags. So yeah, all the air lines are routed inside as well as the electrical lines.
So then, other than with your V2 bag setup, what else have you done to this car specifically?
So a lot of little things here and there, and a couple big things. I'll start with the bigger ones. So the rear sub, I don't know if they can see it on the camera, but I spent probably like a good 72 to like 90 hours, like just measuring and installing and fabricating up that sub. And so I'm pretty proud of that. That's probably like one of the most time invested things I have in this car right now, given that I did buy the car with air suspension already installed.
Yeah.
And on that note, just to deviate a little bit, like people ask me, you know, how hard was it to install and like all this stuff, and then when I tell them like I bought it with it on it, they're like, oh, like okay, so you're not really a car guy. And it's like, oh well, I mean, I have taken out the suspension a few different times. I've replaced both rear bags, and you know, had both the front struts out, and I've retucked all the lines and everything.
So it's not like you bought it not being like, you know, it being known what is going on down there, but it's also like you're probably more knowledgeable than a person that's put it in one time, because you've had to do it multiple times in different areas, you know.
Right. Yeah, so just to pat myself in the back a little bit there.
Just give a little middle finger to all the guys that are being little, can't really cuss on that, but
all good.
So what else is done to it?
So a new head unit is installed. All the audio has been upgraded. I'm an audio snob. The whole dash has been wrapped slash painted. Most of it's wrapped, but some of it I couldn't get the curvature down, so you know that happened. I've had 5 different sets of wheels on the car. Yeah, and it's actually been super fun because I've only bought 1 set of wheels, and then from there I just traded with people.
Oh wow!
And so you can get out into the community and meet people through that, and just like connect different ways, and that's always been super cool. Like the set of wheels I had before this set, the dude came down and he just brought like 6 guys with him, and we just like hung out for the afternoon.
Yeah,
just like swapping wheels.
Honestly, that's what I love about the car community. It's like, it's so easy to network no matter what you need. Like, it's like, even if you are not close with the people, like, they'll have your back because you just have that connection with them through cars.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just feel like the car community is so close when you don't have like all the haters out there or whatever.
For sure.
So it's just easy to network, and if you have a problem, like, or if you want to, upgrade or trade like you're doing, like, it's just going to be a lot easier than, like, especially in the stand scene, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right, definitely. Yeah, and just to go on with the list, like, I did a frame notch a couple months ago. I want to say like 2 months ago, and I did that all myself, all the welding and everything. It was the first time I've ever used a MIG welder, and it looks ugly as frick, but it's strong. So I was super proud of that. I did that in like 2 days. And, I'm actually right now in the process of shaving the engine bay, and so for the viewers that don't know what that is, that's definitely like a more European thing, of where you just remove all of kind of the unnecessary systems in the motor, or in the engine bay, such as like the cooling system extras, and the evap system, the secondary air injection system, a battery relocation, and just all that stuff that you're taking all that junk out of the engine bay and just leaving the motor to look at, and it just looks super clean. So I'm in the process of doing that now, and obviously the car's not going to be like fast or anything, so I'm not going to need like a big cooling system, like all that stuff. So I figured if I'm going to do it, I might as well go all out. So
exactly, I feel that, because you're just trying to cruise, you're not trying to like track this thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like it seems like you are just like comfortable behind the camera. I know that you do a little bit of YouTube yourself, right?
I do. Yes, that's correct. I started a YouTube channel, I guess about 6 or 8 weeks ago. So I'm definitely new into the YouTube thing, but I've had some experience with friends previously. So my one friend Sam, he used to have a vlog channel, and so I would be behind the camera a lot with him because we would hang out all the time. And that was a piece of dirt.
Wow.
Luckily.
Yeah.
On my oil can.
Didn't sound like that.
Yeah. I did not know we were not going to clear that. Anyways. Yeah, so I had some camera experience. Interesting. And I've always been the kind of guy that's liked the attention, if that makes sense. Not to sound like a snob.
Nah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, what wheels do you have on right now?
Right now, these are Autohan DS03s. They're a one-piece cast wheel, and they're reps, I know, but I don't have the money for real wheels right now. And I honestly just love the way that these look on the car.
Oh, yeah, they're beautiful, especially with like, black car, white accents, and just like the polished look to it. It's just like a little little cherry on top.
Yeah. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, these are actually a little bigger than what most people put on these cars. So I have 18 by 9.5 squared all the way around.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah. And they will not fit on the front without spacers. So I have 13 millimeters of spacers in the front, and I can fit one credit card between the wheel and the strut.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty exciting. But they look really well, look really good, and I like how they fit. So they'll get better in the front once I camber some more. I already have some camber arms for the front. And I totally forgot about the rear camber. I just did. But yeah.
So did you already roll your fenders yourself, or did I know that the Jettas already come with like a little bit of like already rolled fenders, but did you have to roll it more for when you spaced out your fronts?
So you are correct. The rears already come rolled from the factory, and the fronts do not. So I haven't rolled the fenders yet. Nothing is pulled or rolled. I have done a little bit of trimming on the fender liner, and I've tucked some wires for like the ABS system inside the fender well, so I don't rub or scrub or anything. But the answer is no. I haven't rolled the fenders.
So back to the list. I know that you have wheels. You have V2. You have white accents all around, which looks beautiful. Never noticed that. I did notice your white roof the first time I ever met you at a meet, but I never saw your interior where, you know, like you have all the vents outlined in white, and your handlebars, and if you want to call them handlebars, door handles.
That's classic. No, I like it.
So what? I know that you just picked up a diffuser, like a valence diffuser, from Canada. You said earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
And that just gives a little bit more flavor to the back,
right?
Which I love. It looks awesome. You'll see it in the cinematic video.
Appreciate it.
During the episode. Do you have any other future plans for this?
For cosmetic wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. I want to get a Bora R rep bumper. The Bora R original bumpers are like $600, so I'm not really trying to fork out that much cash, but
and that's not even adding like, you know, getting it painted the same
exactly color matched. But yeah, so I want to get a Bora R bumper, and a splitter on the front. Side skirts, definitely. I'm actually planning on making those.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so that should be some good YouTube content.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
And I actually want to go a lot more camber with this car. I want to get in the double digits all around.
Yeah.
But I can't really do that until either my girlfriend moves to Maryland, or
don't say
I get another car.
So you don't want to daily that much camber.
Exactly. But I do already have adjustable lower control arms for the front, and that's going to be paired with some other supporting mods like axle spacers and tie rod extensions. And yeah, so big camber. I want to go big camber, and I want to relocate this radio head unit to on top of the dash right here.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty sick. I've already talked with a guy who's gonna 3D print me a insert. Well, not for this. This is gonna be me. I'm gonna do all this, but 3D print an insert to house my V2 management and 2 gauges. So I'll have like a oil temperature gauge, and I'd like to have like a TPMS monitoring system.
Okay.
Just to keep an eye on my tire pressure without putting a gauge on it.
Yeah, with that much camber, you definitely want to keep track of that, because I've had a couple of buddies that just like, they just go full balls deep in the camber, and they just like, you know, they ended up just getting screwed, like not, you know, not paying attention to that kind of those small things right there. It's just like could ruin it. Like, you know, you could ruin the wheels, and like you just spend hard-earned money, or with you trading it up. Like, do you see yourself trading these wheels soon, or are you keeping them for a while?
Not soon. I think so I have another set of wheels, of BBS wheels. They're actually my winter wheels, ironically enough. I think the end goal, I don't really know what the next step is for the wheels, but the end goal for these wheels is I just want to get a set of multi-piece wheels. Just so I can be in the real wheel game. And I mean, Prodcuer makes some like really sick two-piece wheel designs. If I could just snag a pair of them, or a set of them for really cheap, that would be awesome.
You and I are on the same page, because I'm looking at 3-piece Prodcuers right now.
Yeah.
As we're talking about it.
For sure.
So right now you're already almost laying frame, right?
Just about. I'm about an inch off the ground in the front, half an inch to an inch when I air out. So what's going to get me on the ground is
that splitter,
rolling my fenders, and getting a little bit more camber in the front, and a splitter. So
are you going with like a flat splitter, or are you going with like, you know, one of those, like, I know I've seen Jetta splitters before where they're just like angled in the front?
So I haven't actually really even done that much looking into it, just because it's not even on the radar until I get the bumper. So I really don't know the answer to that question. Sorry.
Well, I think that we talked a lot. You're obviously easily like comfortable behind the camera. Like very easy person to interview with a sweet ride like this. So that is going to be all for this interview. We will see you guys next week. Follow Josh at on your V6,
on your
VR6,
on your _ VR6.
Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on YouTube. He'll be coming out with some huge content, as you know.
You got it.
Hell yeah. That is it. So follow me on Instagram, BBafter11. Follow our other co-host, who is not here right now, Liam Marcelino. Catch us next week.
Peace.